Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to TravClan's webinar with Visit Britain. I am Tarang Mohin, your host for today, and we have Mr. Shuja Bin Mehdi, the B2B manager at Visit Britain with us. And I would like to welcome Mr. Shuja in this session, who will be telling us about Great Britain as an amazing opportunity for Indian travelers. And we'll be starting off with the session very soon. If you guys have any difficulties hearing me or viewing me, please let me know via the chat box. So we have Mr. Shuja with us. Mr. Shuja, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, Tarang, I can hear you. Good evening, everyone.
Yes.
Good evening, Tarang.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you, sir? How are you?
Very good. Just passing my time. We've been working from home for about 3 weeks now. So just
Okay.
getting used to that new normal.
Okay. That's great. That's great. So, hello everyone. We have Mr. Shuja with us. Mr. Shuja is the B2B manager India at Visit Britain, and he'll be telling us about Great Britain as a destination. And Mr. Shuja, over to you. I think we can start off with the presentation and with your brief introduction. Obviously, we'd love to know about you more and how have you been during this entire, lockdown period, lockdown season that we are going through, and the Indian travel industry is actually waiting on their haunches to just, come back even harder, even stronger. So please throw some light on it.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much to you, Tarang, and thank you to TravClan for providing me the opportunity. I've just actually turned on my video, so I hope you can see that.
Yes, we can. We can.
I will switch it off when I begin the presentation just so that I can save up on the Wi-Fi speed at my home. Obviously, it is not as good as it is in the office. So just for the interest of delivering a smooth presentation, I'll switch off my video in a few minutes. But I
Okay.
wanted to come online and say hello to everybody. This is probably the most difficult phase that our industry is going through, and I hope it will go through it stronger and we will come out of it soon. Uh, I mean, there are ways to basically upskill yourself and learn as much as you can. Use the opportunity to try to learn about destinations that you're trying to promote. But I truly believe that we will come out of this stronger. And when the crisis gets over, people will definitely want to travel. I can assure you that much. And we will obviously be there to support the travel trade as always.
Exactly. I personally think that this is the best time to, learn about different things, learn about, different destinations, so that when the industry is back on track, we have our information and we have everything that we need to, come back even stronger. What do you feel about that? Mr. Shuja, I think your voice is not, yes, now
Yeah,
you unmuted. Yes.
I think over several decades, we've seen that the travel and tourism industry is probably the most resilient. It is also the one of the most vulnerable, that whenever there is any kind of crisis, either global or regional or local, travel and tourism is the first to be impacted, but it also emerges stronger after that crisis. So I think the same applies this time as well. I think our travel trade colleagues, I've been seeing the messages on Facebook and WhatsApp. They are using the time to upskill themselves a lot. A lot of other destinations are also doing the exercise of imparting webinars, which is excellent.
Right.
So this is the time where I think the frontline staff, the sales staff, and the owners and directors can actually understand each and every destination that they promote in depth.
Mhm.
So I want to use today as a opportunity not only to make all of you destination experts in Britain, but also to understand the challenges that you face while selling UK. So if there are any kinds of questions you have throughout my presentation, you're welcome to ask using the chat option. You and Tarang will direct those to me. I'm happy to take the questions even during the presentation or even after the presentation. So I want to spend a lot of time doing the Q&A as well for you because I want to learn from you as much as you could probably learn from me. So
Definitely.
let's use the opportunity to the best.
Exactly. So it's almost 4 p.m. and I think we can start off with the presentation because a lot of us have already joined us and people are coming in. So I think we can start off with the destination. Before we start, I just wanted to ask that what exactly do you have for us today? Because I am looking forward to this amazing, because I got a chance to have a glimpse of that presentation today, earlier today, and I am actually excited to see the entire presentation. So if you could just brief us about what exactly do you have for all of us over here today.
Sure. I will begin with a destination presentation about Great Britain. I will talk to you about what Visit Britain is, what is our role in the government, and what we do in India. I will take you through the major destinations which are selling the most in India. So within the UK, we all know about London. It sells like anything. I will talk to you a little bit about London. We'll take you to North England also. Then we'll talk a little bit about Scotland as well. I also have, as an addition to my own destination presentation, a visa presentation, which
Okay.
is from UKVI, UK Visas and Immigration. Uh,
Okay.
the colleagues from UKVI could not join us today,
Okay.
but I will be delivering the UKVI presentation to all of you. And if there are any questions, please do feel free to ask.
Great. Great. So I think Shuja sir, we can start off with the presentation. If you guys have any question during the presentation, you can ask us via the Q&A section, as well as you have the Zoom chat box where you can ask us question during the session, and we'll be taking up questions as we proceed. So yes, Mr. Shuja sir, over to you.
Thank you, Tarang. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to all of you. And it's a great privilege to be talking to you, even though we are all working from home. But I think all of us are making best use of this time. And thank you so much to TravClan and to Tarang also for providing this opportunity to us.
Thank you.
I will now take my video offline just in the interest of delivering a smooth presentation because
Definitely.
I'm on my home Wi-Fi. I will turn it back on probably at the end. I will now start sharing my screen in a few seconds. Is that visible, Tarang, to everyone?
It is visible. It is visible, sir.
Just take a second. Sorry. Yep. Okay. So
Yes. Good to go.
good to go. I will begin by talking to you a little bit about what Visit Britain is, who we are, and what is our role, what exactly that we do. So we are the National Tourism Agency for Britain. Our main mission is to build volume and value for tourism across the UK. What that means is that we want more and more people to travel to UK in big numbers, but we also want them to spend a lot in the UK when they are there. So that's what we mean by volume and value. We are partly funded by the government of the UK. We report to DCMS, the Department of Digital Culture, Media and Sports. We promote UK via 4 regional hubs, which are there across 4 regions of the world. So, starting with Americas, we have the US and Brazil as part of one hub, which is known as Americas. Then we have Europe. India comes under the APMEA hub, which stands for Asia Pacific, Middle East, and Africa. So, in the APMEA hub, there are 3 markets. There is GCC, there is India, and there is Australia. Our APMEA hub regional office is in Dubai. And then the 4th hub is China and Northeast Asia, where the head office is in Beijing. We also work closely with our partners such as London and Partners, Visit Scotland, Visit Wales, and Tourism Northern Ireland. These are the respective DMOs of these particular regions, and we work very closely with them. So tourism, as you can see from this slide, is actually the key to the British economy. As you can see, about 10% of the GDP of the UK is generated by tourism. And in the world, UK is the 4th most admired country. It's the 7th most visited country. and whoever travels to the UK once, 63% of them are more likely to actually go again. So repeat travel is a very big thing for UK, and it is true for Indians as well. So about 70% of all Indians who visit the UK for the first time do go again, which is very, very good. So this is our team across the region. Trisha Warwick is our regional director who sits in our Dubai head office. Vishal Bhatia is our country manager. He sits at the British Deputy High Commission in Mumbai. Uh, I report into Vishal. I'm the B2B manager. My role is uh, working with travel trade, leading all of the travel trade relations, and also all of the exercises that we do throughout the year. Also, commercial partnerships. Those are the ones that I also manage. Raghav is our colleague who sits with me in Delhi at the High Commission. He's a marketing and comms manager. His role is leading on all our consumer campaigns and also PR and communications. Tishtar is my colleague who sits in Mumbai along with Vishal at the Deputy High Commission. She has recently joined us just in about November last year, and she helps me out with the travel trade. Radhika is our digital lead. She looks at our digital channels such as Facebook, Twitter, Insta. You'll be surprised to know that the Facebook page for Visit Britain, which is known as Love Great Britain, that has the most number of followers in India, actually, over 600,000.
That's great. That's great.
So this is the some stats about the UK. We've broken down the country into some interesting stats for you. Not a very populated country. It's only 65 million. The population of the country as a whole, which is almost equal to a mid-sized state in India. There are 69 cities across the UK. 51 of them are only in London, in England. Sorry. There are 15 national parks also. All of them are free to visit, and there are 2,500 museums across the UK, and all of them are also most of them are also free to visit. So some fun facts about the country. On average, 2 out of 3 days are actually dry, believe it or not. So we've heard many jokes about the British weather. The fact is that 2 out of 3 days actually are dry. So that's an insight for you. We've got the longest national trail, which is 630 miles long. So there is a huge tradition which is going back several hundred years, where Brits actually walk along the country. They're big on walking. So places like Lake District, places like Northern Wales, also Highlands of Scotland are very, very big for hiking and walking. And the largest and the longest national trail is 630 miles long. So it's a small island country, not very big as you can imagine. You are never more than about 2 hours away from the countryside. So wherever you are, you can just drive for about half an hour or so, and you will get into the countryside, which is really beautiful. You can actually drive from the top to the bottom of the UK in less than 15 hours. So, I mean, just imagine that and compare it to the size of our own country. In 15 hours, I don't think we'll even reach Mumbai from Delhi. So that,
Not at all.
that tells you that it's not a very big country. So wherever you are, you can take self-drive as an option. I'll talk more about that in the later slides.
Okay.
There are 2,500 train stations, so extensive rail network across the UK, and there are ways by which an overseas visitor can actually use the rail network to connect. The easiest way is actually through a Brit Rail pass. I will talk more about that also in the later slides. So this is the country as a whole, as you can see. Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, England, that makes up the whole country. The correct name is United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. That's quite a mouthful. And the capital of the country obviously is London. This slide I've just added into my presentation to give you some idea about what a typical itinerary for the UK might look like. So suppose somebody is traveling there for anywhere between 12 to 18 nights. I think they can do this itinerary, which takes you through all of the major destinations which a tourist would like to go to if they visit. This one has London as the entry and exit, but you can obviously take London as the entry and you can exit from Scotland also, because the air connectivity is just absolutely fantastic. You don't really need to come back to London in order to take a flight back to India. So here you're entering into London, you're going down south via Stonehenge, you're going to Plymouth, and then you're going up. You can visit Bath on the way also. You can go to Cardiff, which is the capital of Wales. It is one of the youngest cities in Europe. You can keep traveling up via North Wales. You can pass through Chester into Liverpool. Liverpool is the music capital of the UK. I'll have lots to talk to you about actually about Liverpool. On the right hand side of Liverpool, about half an hour away, is Manchester, which you can call the sports capital of the UK. So these two cities, along with York, which is about an hour and a half from Manchester, I think these three cities can easily be sold together. You can have about 4 to 6 night itinerary for these three cities together. They're all very different from each other. They do not think that they all might look alike or might feel the same, but it's not the case at all. All three are very, very different in terms of the attractions that are available, in terms of the things to do. And then you can go up to Lake District. Lake District, I'm sure everybody would have heard of. There is a place called Windermere, which is a lake, which is located on a side of a town. I'm sure all Indians must have heard about Lake District. It's very, very popular amongst Indians. It's one of the most popular destinations that we have. It's a countryside destination. It is full of lakes and mountains. It is incidentally also UK's number one domestic holiday destination. So when the Brits want to go on a holiday, they go to Lake District. During the summers, especially July and August, it is really, really full. You can keep going up into Scotland, into Glasgow or Edinburgh. Glasgow and Edinburgh do look like they're on the two sides of the country, but they're actually only 45 minutes away by road. So the distance might seem a lot on the map, but actually it is not. So you can package both cities together in the same itinerary also. Then you can keep going up into the Highlands. Scottish Highlands are one of the most scenic and beautiful countryside that you will ever see anywhere in the world. It is just breathtaking. And the best part is that you have all the means available for you to explore. So you can either do an exploration using a Scot Rail pass, or you can travel there using a self-drive option. That's one of my favorites. Or you can actually even board a coach and you can do the sightseeing, using a 3-day or a 2-day itinerary for the Highlands. The most popular one is a 2-day itinerary, which starts and ends in Edinburgh. They take you through these destinations that you can see here, through Glencoe, Fort Williams, and they also touch the Isle of Skye. It is voted as one of the most beautiful places in the world. So definitely, if you're going to Scotland, I would highly recommend you to go to Isle of Skye. It is just unbelievable. So you can come down after the Isle of Skye into Pitlochry via St Andrews, and you can exit from Edinburgh, or you can go all the way down into London and you can fly out. So this is what the country has to offer as a whole. Obviously, there are a lot of other attractions and places that I'm not talking about at the moment, but these are the ones which are most popular with Indians, which is why I wanted to underline them. Moving on, I have somebody very special who will tell you a little bit about the UK. I hope you're able to recognize him. Tarang, let me know if the sound issue is there.
Sure. Please play the video. Yes, actually the sound issue is there. If you can just like recheck, sir.
Yep.
if you can just recheck once those viewing options that we discovered. There is
Yep.
some sound issue and we are not able to hear the voice.
Yeah, I've just checked that.
I have a very strong connection
Yes.
with Britain.
Now we
For
are
over
able to
3
hear you.
generations, the men in my family have been educated there. I went to prep school at Locust Park in Hertfordshire when I was 9 years old, and then on to Winchester College, which is probably the oldest and best school in England, if not the world. Britain is a remarkably beautiful country. There's so many different ways of living there. There's so many different things to do. It has an incredible amount of choice. It's a peaceful country. It's hard to work there because there's just so many things to tempt you. I mean, you can have a gastronomic experience with the best food in the world, or nice, simple pub food. London, Britain's capital and home to some of the world's most famous tourist attractions. London has a distinguished charm about it. The energy of the city is infectious. Everyone's happy, always smiling, and always full of joy. The best way to see London, in my opinion, is through a hot air balloon. What attracts me to Britain the most is the peace and tranquility here. My ideal vacation in Britain, I would love to go all the way from, the very tip of Scotland right down to the south. I'd like to drive through the whole country. Scotland is beautiful too, known for its castles and fabulous single malls. I feel very lucky to have shot a number of my films, actually, in England. Shooting at the Millennium Bridge, Canary Wharf, Trafalgar Square. We shot for Love Article, we've shot for Cocktail. They're some of my happiest memories in my career, really. And for those of you who've just got married, you have to visit England. I mean, sitting and holding hands in Hyde Park is, I think, one of the most romantic things you can do. On my next trip, I plan to take the self-drive through Wales. I would love to explore that coastline. I read the other day it's voted one of the most beautiful coastlines in the world. Obviously, you must see Buckingham Palace, you must see Stonehenge, and you have to visit the British countryside. I love Great Britain. Come fall in love with this amazing place. You're invited.
Is that a cool video or what? Every time I play it, I must have seen it, I don't know, hundreds of times by now, but it's like a hair-raising experience. He speaks so well, and we had him as our Goodwill ambassador for about a year, many years back. And this is the video that we were able to shoot with him, and it just works wonders every time. Anyway,
Yes.
I think he could make this presentation far better than I could, but since I'm here, I'll keep on talking.
Exactly.
So this next slide tells you about arriving in Britain by air. This has all of the airports, international airports in the UK, where you can fly into. So Heathrow is the one airport, the airport for London, which has got the maximum number of direct flights from India. And as you can see, there are other airports also which have direct flights from India, not only Heathrow anymore. So Birmingham has got a direct flight, the one which Air India operates, that is from Amritsar in Delhi. And there is another one which began sometime late last year, that is into Stansted from Delhi. That's also operated by Air India. So one fact that I'd want to share with everybody here, that UK is the most well-connected long-haul destination to India. There is no other country in the world, long-haul, which has more direct flights than the UK.
Okay.
So I mean, if you just want to know the numbers, there are roughly about 1.5 million airline seats, direct ones, which exists every year between India and UK. That's the number of direct seats that we have. That's actually stayed the same for the past 5 to 10 years, if I'm correct, and that's maintained over the years. That's because there is so much travel that's happening between India and UK, and not only VFR, which is visiting friends and relatives, the number of visitors from India to UK has also gone up significantly, and it's absolutely fantastic to see. Some major announcements which happened earlier this year also. Virgin Atlantic announced that they would be starting a daily flight between Delhi and Manchester in October. I don't know if that will still go ahead. We're just keeping our fingers crossed. But the airline capacity just keeps on growing. I mean, we saw about 2 years back in 2018, there was a direct route between Mumbai and Manchester, which was launched by Jet Airways, and that route was very, very successful, although the airline wasn't. They were operating that route at about 85-90% capacity. Even during the shoulder season of January and February, the flights were going almost full. There is so much demand.
Okay.
So that's really great to see. And these are only direct flights, by the way. The 1.5 million seats that I talked to you about, that's only the direct seats available between the India and the UK. I mean, you think about all of the GCC carriers which are taking you through connecting flights in the UK. Then there are hundreds of thousands of more seats which are also available. So not only direct flights, but even the indirect one, the options are just plenty between India and UK. So my next slide will talk to you about getting around Britain. So once you are there, how much time will it take when you travel within the country? So if you travel by flight, let's say between London to Manchester, the flight is really, really short. It is less than even in 1 hour. Even London to Edinburgh, it's not more than 1.5 hours, less than 2 hours. So not a very big country to fly in. But actually, that's not really my favorite form of transport when I'm in the UK. My favorite form of transport is this one. When getting around Britain, I think rail is really, really fantastic. You can travel from one corner of the country to the other with ease while you're traveling by rail. As you can see, it doesn't take that long either. I mean, London to Manchester is only about 2 hours. London to Scotland is about 4.5 hours, 5 hours, not that long. Some of the advantages as to why it is my favorite, I think one is just the convenience itself. Because when you will be taking a train between two cities, let's say between London and Manchester, you will be traveling between one city center to the next. You do not have to actually go to the airport if you were to fly, because the most of obviously all the airports are outside the city center. So you have to go at least an hour outside London, central London to Heathrow. You have to board a flight from there, which you need to reach 2 hours early. And then you fly into Manchester. The airport in Manchester is about half an hour away. And then you get into central Manchester. But here, the convenience is that you can actually travel between all the train stations are always located in the city center. So you are going from one city center to the next. You're saving the time and probably the cost also of the taxi that you might need to take to go to the airport.
Right.
The second part is that is also the saving you will make if you were to take the train, because I think in most cases the train ticket between two sectors would be lower than the air ticket. You might find a highly discounted air ticket sometime, which might be even lower than the train ticket, but that's a very rare occasion. I think in most cases the train ticket will always be cheaper. I think the third one which works for me is you get to see the British countryside. You will miss all of that if you were to fly over the country. You just board a flight and you fly and you don't see anything while you are in transit. But if you were taking the train, you get to see one of the most beautiful countrysides in the world. So that's an experience in itself. And the best way to actually sell train ticket is through Britrail Pass. A Britrail Pass is actually a paper ticket. Once it's issued, you get a booklet, and every time you board a train, you've got to get it validated at the platform before boarding. Not a very long exercise to do this. It's very, very easy and convenient. But the advantage of a Britrail Pass, especially if you've got multi-sector itineraries, suppose you're not going only one sector to the other. If you've got 3 or 4 cities that you're traveling to, a Britrail Pass gives you the flexibility of unlimited travel. So just as an example, let's say I was going from London to Manchester and I had my train at 11 o'clock and I missed that train for any reason. Then if I've got a sector ticket between the two cities, that ticket is just is a waste, because that sector ticket, I had to board the train. It's not that flexible. But if I had a Brit Rail pass, I can take the next train. And if I miss that, I can take the next train. It doesn't matter. I can take any train I want. That's the kind of flexibility that I think people, especially who are with families, who've got kids, who don't want to follow a schedule, they would really love that kind of flexibility. I think that's why Brit Rail Pass is very, very helpful to people who are traveling on leisure
Okay.
and even on business.
Right.
The other advantage is that you can always, you can increase the validity. So whatever the number of days that the Brit Rail Pass is valid for, if it's a 3-day, 5-day, 7-day, 9-day, or even up to a 21-day pass, you can travel unlimited on any number of trains between any number of destinations within the UK. I mean, if you just start calculating the sectors that you can travel, a sector ticket multiplied by, if you make 20 journeys, will be much, much more expensive than a Brit Rail pass. There is also another version of Brit Rail Pass which was launched a few years back. It's called the England M Pass or the England Mobile Pass. So as I said, the Brit Rail Pass is actually a physical ticket. The England Mobile Pass is not a physical ticket. It's downloadable on an app on your mobile phone. So that gives you that amount of flexibility that you don't need to carry it. Even if you lose it, doesn't matter. You've got it in your mobile all the time. And the only thing is that it is valid for journeys within England. It is not an equivalent of the Brit Rail Pass. So just
Okay.
be mindful of that. There is still testing going on for a mobile version of the Brit Rail Pass. It might be launched sometime soon. Whenever that happens, we will make sure that we tell the travel trade about it.
Okay.
Moving on, I've got a train video also. I hope you like this.
Definitely.
We set out at the first light. We lit up with the sunrise. Gets my heartbeat running wild when you're here by my side. And we'll dream out loud. Take our chance, take it now. We will go from this day on. Take this world and make it ours. You and I, all life long. We'll take this world from this day on. From this day on.
I just love the song they've chosen in the background for the video. It's
Right.
fantastic. It's very uplifting. Uh, anyway, moving on to everyone's favorite, London. I don't think that I can tell the travel trade as much as the travel trade can tell me about London. I think they are far bigger experts in selling and packaging this destination, which is why 70% of all Indians actually only travel to London when they are in the UK and they fly out. Uh, that is an opportunity for us also, because for about the past 5-6 years, I remember when I joined Visit Britain back in 2012, this stat used to be a lot higher than 70%. It used to be around 86%. So at that point of time, 86% of all visitors were only visiting London and flying out, and only about 14% were exploring the rest of UK. So that number has come down to about 70% now. But that doesn't mean that London's share has decreased, sorry, in any way. It just means that the pie has grown bigger. Where London, the number of nights that people are spending in London is also going up, as well as the time that they're spending outside the UK. So we've seen that especially happen last in 2018. I remember seeing the stats. For the first time ever, the number of nights in rest of England was higher than it was in London, which is a big plus for us because we've been working tirelessly with our commercial partners, trying to launch new itineraries in the market. We've really encouraged travel trade to push destinations beyond London because London is absolutely the crown jewel for us, but it is not the only destination that you can experience in the UK. There is a lot more to the UK than only London, is what I can say. Although the charm for London is always there, and we love London. There's no doubt about it. And which is why the new itineraries that we were promoting, they're pushing people to places in north of England, to places in Scotland, and we've seen massive growth coming out of these areas also. So, talking to you a little bit about London, well, there are 250 plus free attractions in London, believe it or not.
Okay.
I think the feeling that I get talking to travel trade is, if you don't mind me saying so, people are a little bit complacent when it comes to London. They think that they've been selling everything there is to sell when in London. It's not quite right. Just to share something with you, uh, Taran, would you be able to guess the number one tourist attraction in London?
Okay, so I am just like
Don't
giving some
Google.
opinion. Yeah,
Please
not
don't
Googling
Google.
definitely. But yeah, I
Just
guess the London
just think
Eye,
about it.
just
Not
the
really.
London Eye.
No, no,
Okay, Buckingham Palace.
no.
Uh, I think you have to tell me that because I am expecting a
Yep.
very unique answer from you. I
Very
think
unique answer. It is a unique one. I mean, I've
Big
been
Ben.
delivering this. No, not really.
Okay, not
I've
really.
been delivering this presentation for about 8, 9 years now. I've never gotten a right answer. So
Okay,
I can tell you the number one tourist attraction in London is the British Museum.
okay,
That's where over 80% of all visitors who come to London actually go to. It
okay,
is not true for Indians. I do accept that. It's not on any of the itineraries, but it is a fantastic place to go to. Even I
okay.
was only able to visit a few years ago because whenever we are there, we have always very busy at our head office. But I
Right.
took out time, especially, and I went there. I spent the whole of Saturday there.
Okay,
You can actually spend days in there. It is huge. It has got over 50 rooms, and
okay,
when I say one room is anywhere about 8 to 10,000 square feet. It is
okay.
that big, and there are two rooms which are dedicated to India.
Right.
So this is a fact that would probably surprise many people, that the number
Mhm.
one tourist attraction in London is not the usual ones, but actually the British Museum. It is because whenever people from anywhere in the world come to the UK, they want to look at the history and the culture and the heritage. But
Right.
also look at what the museums have to offer. They start their itinerary typically from the museums because they come there with their kids. They want it to be an educational experience also. The
Right.
museums in the UK are absolutely superlative, I can tell you. The exhibits that they have at the British Museum, the best part is that every few months the exhibits keep on changing. They keep
Okay.
on getting new exhibits from other museums also,
Right.
and you can spend the whole day, entire day over there. If you need a guide, you can even hire a blue badge guide to take you through all of the exhibits in the UK, all of the rooms, but you can explore on your own also. The entry is completely free. There is no fee at all. You just walk in there like you would walk into a park and not pay
Right.
anything. I mean, there are plenty of dining options available also. There are a few
Mhm.
cafes inside. The gift shops are amazing. I actually, out of these 6 or 7 hours I spent inside, 2 hours were there at the gift shop. I can
Mhm.
promise you that much. So there is a lot for families to do, especially good kids would love to go into the British Museum. But this is just one small fact that I wanted to share with everybody about London.
Interesting.
Uh,
Uh, as far as my knowledge goes, I guess there are a lot of other museums as well who which are free. Like
Yes.
there is no entry, right?
So out of 2,500 museums in the UK, almost all of them are free. There is no entry fee there.
Right.
They do take donations if you want to donate for the museum to be able to sustain itself. They do take that. But this is as part of the effort from the government that in order to preserve the history uh, from all over the world, I mean, British
Right.
Museum has got artifacts from all over the world, not
Right.
only the UK or India, but throughout the globe. You will see artifacts that you will not see even in Egypt. You will see
Okay.
things that you will not see anywhere in Europe, but you will find them in the British Museum. It is one of the
Okay.
largest museums, not only in the UK, but in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Okay.
would encourage everybody to start putting the British Museum in their itineraries, even though it is a free attraction. But I can promise to you that your clients will spend the whole day over there and will really compliment you once they're back. So these
Right.
are some of the key attractions. I'm sure you've heard of all of them. I don't need to repeat their names at all. Some of the key attractions which are most popular with visitors, especially from India, and these are the ones that we want people to discover. The Richmond Royal Park, Royal Greenwich Museum is one of my favorites, I can tell you. This museum is about an hour away from central London, but this is the place where they say that time was invented. So all heard of GMT, I hope. Greenwich
Yes.
means meridian
Yes.
time. So this
Yes.
is this Royal Greenwich Museum is the place where the agreement was signed and the world was split into time zones.
Okay.
So actually, there is a line running inside the museum.
Mm-hmm.
If you are on one side of the line, you are on the eastern hemisphere. If you're on the other side, you're on the western hemisphere. It is just a hair-raising experience for somebody who's a student of science who wants to
Right.
understand exactly how this agreement came into place. We all use GMT time, but we never think about it, that
Mm-hmm.
where was the agreement signed. So this is the place.
Okay.
Then another favorite for me is the Shard, the view from the Shard.
Yeah.
Shard is not only the tallest building in London, but it is one of the tallest in Western Europe. And you can see this building in the picture also in the background. The one which is V-shaped, the tallest one in the background that you see here in the picture now.
Right.
Uh, it is a beautiful piece of architecture, and it's got a viewing platform at the top. Uh, the height for the Shard is, I think, twice that of the London Eye. So if you're looking to see the whole of London from from an aerial experience, this is the place to be. There is not only the regular tour which is available of the view from the Shard, there is a champagne and strawberry tour also available.
Great.
Some insider tips for people who are selling London. Oyster card is something that I would highly recommend to you. It's called a visitor Oyster card. So this is basically the tube pass, which is sold to people who are visiting from overseas. London has got one of the most extensive underground networks. The trains are running all across the city and outside as well. And you can actually, as this, I think, is the best way to be able to discover the city, most economical. So the Oyster card is valid for you for number of days that you wanted to. It's valid for lifetime, basically. Once you buy an Oyster card, you can just top it up and you can keep on using it again and again on your next visit. And not only trains, it also works on buses. So that gives you even more access on overground transport also. But the best part about Oyster card are the discounts that you get from the various stores and restaurants across London. So there is the London travel card option, which is just a regular travel card, which is not the Oyster card. That is also available. But the Oyster cards give you discount at stores and restaurants. So, for example, uh, I was dining with my colleagues a few months back in London at Planet Hollywood, which is a very famous restaurant in central London. When we got the bill, we used our Oyster card and we got 20% off over it. So that's a big
Okay.
discount which came uh,
Right.
as a result of using the Oyster card. So I would encourage all of you to use.
Definitely. So, sir, before we move forward, we have a couple of questions coming in from the presentation itself. If we can
Oh,
take some of the questions right now.
sure, please. I'm happy to take.
Yes. So I'll be starting from the very beginning, right? So Miss Ritika is asking about the Facebook page name that you told in the very
Love Great
beginning of the
Britain.
presentation.
Love Great Britain.
Love Great Britain.
Yeah.
So, Ritika, I hope you got your answer, right? Love Great Britain is the Facebook page name. Apart from that, the next question is around visa. So, can UK visa be used to visit Ireland as well? Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So that scheme is called BIVS, British Irish Visa Scheme, and your UK visa can be used to visit Ireland also, Republic of Ireland. I mean, but you have to take a stopover first. If your entry is through the UK, you have to take a stopover. If it's a British visa you're using, you've got to come to UK first, take a stopover for 24 hours. Only then you can visit Ireland. If it's an Irish BIVS visa, then you've got to enter through Ireland and then visit the UK.
Okay. Okay. So, Ms. Dipti Sethi is asking that what are some of the self-driving options available? Because as you told and as we all were able to see in the video itself, that it has some of the beautiful roads and beautiful countryside to be explored, right? So, what are the self-driving options available for the travelers?
Well, self-drive is very easy to do in the UK because for the basic reason is they drive on the same side of the road as us. So it is not like any other destination, not like the US or any other place that you've got to learn left-hand drive. This is right-hand drive over in the UK, so they drive on the same side. The second advantage is that the Indian driving license is also valid when you are driving in the UK, but international driver's permit is recommended. So I would refer you to check with your car company once you've booked your self drive option. Just send them a scanned copy of your Indian driving license before you fly to the UK, just to be doubly sure and so that your Indian driving license is not rejected. It is absolutely valid there. The other advantage is that if you were to take a car hire, or if you've got a chauffeur driven car, the problem is that the government only allows drivers to drive up to 9 hours. So that doesn't give too much of a flexibility. If suppose I'm traveling throughout the Scotland in a chauffeur driven car, my driver can only drive me for about 9 hours. But if I want to take a stop somewhere in the middle, spend a few hours with the family, and then carry on with my journey, that is not going to be possible. With the self drive option, the car is yours, the road is yours. You just keep on driving, keep on stopping, no matter how many places you want to stop.
Right.
The main reason I would say it is a lot cheaper compared to chauffeur driven cars. Self drive option is a lot cheaper
And it
than
is even more convenient, as you can say, as you just
absolutely.
told us, right?
All
Because
kinds
we,
of vehicles are available.
right,
The self-drive depots are located usually at the airport of that particular city. So you can pick up a vehicle at Heathrow Airport a while after you've landed, and you can drive on to Scotland, and you can leave the vehicle at the depot of that company at the Edinburgh Airport if you want. There are no restrictions like that. You can use it for as many days as you want to.
okay. And can you let us all know, like, what is the average cost of a Brit pass that
Brit
we,
Rail Pass.
yes, Brit Rail.
Uh, that really depends on the validity and it really depends because it's a seasonal pass also. So there are some seasons which are really busy. For example, June to August is the summer season in the UK when the most amount of travel is happening. So because of seasonality, it might be a little more expensive. But I mean, it compared to a sector ticket, if it's a multi-sector journey, the Brit Rail Pass is always more economical.
Okay, okay. So one very interesting question coming in from Brilliance Holidays and Events, that will we also get a chance to see the Kohinoor Diamond in any of these museums that we were talking about?
Of course, it is there at the Tower of London.
Right.
You can
Okay.
book a tour and you can go inside and you can see the crown where the Kohinoor diamond is. It's one of the top things that Indians do. So you can absolutely see.
Okay, so one last question. It is about, are there any fam trips available for Britain specialists, and are there any, discounts or offerings or incentives for MICE groups as well?
So we had a fam trip opportunity this May coming up, but unfortunately, because of the prevailing circumstances, we've now shifted that to next year. I don't know if there are any opportunities available this year itself. I can't really comment. Let's see how the situation unfolds. In terms of, sorry, discounts you were asking?
Yes, yes. People are also asking about, are there any commissions on London Pass, which they can book on behalf of guests, as well
Yes.
as are there any incentives for MICE groups?
So there are no incentives for MICE groups. We do not give out any cash incentives, but there are ways through which you can actually buy these attraction passes and tickets directly from Visit Britain, and you can get incentive which you will not get anywhere else in the market. I will talk more about that in my following slides.
Okay. One last question that people are asking, like, how can we enroll for the fam trip that is scheduled for the next year? Is there any process for that?
You've got to write to me. I will show my email ID in the following slides also. You've got to be able to, first express the need to be able to go on a fam trip. We will evaluate the opportunities as they keep on coming, and we will inform you.
Okay. Okay. I think we can move on with our presentation, because we have answered almost all the questions that we had till now.
Okay.
And we'll be taking up more questions at the end of the presentation now. So you guys can post your questions in the Q&A section. And if you have any feedback, you can post that in the Zoom chat box. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Tarang. So I've got a video for London, which I want to showcase to everyone. I hope they enjoy watching this. I'm very excited to see
all those videos that you have added.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi guys, it's me, Isha Acton. I travel for the culture, and what better way to see the culture of London than on the MBNA Thames Clipper? If you are coming to watch India and you want to get directly to the Oval, make sure you go on the MBNA Thames Clipper, which will bring you right there. Now we're in Greenwich, so there's only one place we need to be heading. Let's go see the stars. There's Bombay. Oh, that. Oh my God. I can't believe I'm from England and this is the first time I've seen the Meridian Line ever. And right now, you're standing in the Eastern Hemisphere, I'm standing in the Western Hemisphere. Mind-blowing stuff. Can't wait to see more. Come on. Yes. We're up at the O2 and Veronica and I are ready for a big climb. My body weight should be able to survive this. Now this is our reward, the breathtaking view. Just look at that. Inside this quaint little house in East London is a tribute to the English art and crafts designer of the 19th century. Morris in fact resided in this building from 1848 to 1856. And in 2013, the William Morris Gallery won a national prize for Britain's Museum of the Year. We're at Monmouth Kitchen, and little fun fact about this kitchen. So in 1870s, apparently Vincent van Gogh, he worked as an art dealer just steps away from this very kitchen. Apparently they have a surprise in store for us, so I'm super excited to just get in. So let's go get stuck in. Cheers! Cheers to you outside. Thank you. I travel for the culture, and today I had a fantastic insight into the art scene in London. I'm hoping we continue this journey, so you guys make sure that you stay tuned to all the action. Until next time, it's a bye from me.
Okay, moving on to the rest of my presentation, I will talk to you a little bit about the north of England. These are the key places in the north of England that we want people to experience. Yorkshire Dales, the Lake District, Liverpool, Manchester, Hadrian's Wall up in the north. And along with these, still to be discovered, some places such as the city of York. This particular alley that you're seeing in the background in the picture, this is in the city of York itself. And yes, you're right, you've seen it before if you watched any of the Harry Potter movies. This is where some of the filming for the movie has been done. So York is absolutely my favorite city in England when I'm there. It is just a small compact city as compared to London, but it has got a lot of to offer for tourists. So definitely it should be on the map when you're visiting the north of England. Some of the city break destinations in the north of England, these are Liverpool, Leeds, Manchester, Newcastle, Gateshead, and York. The countryside in the north, that would be the Yorkshire Dales, Lake District, and Northumberland. So why are we focusing on the north of England? I think this began as an exercise about 2 years back, if I remember, when that direct flight between Mumbai and Manchester was launched by Jet Airways. Uh, to promote that particular flight, we started working with Marketing Manchester, which is the tourism board for the city of Manchester. And we started promoting not only Manchester, but the whole of the north of England. I think you can easily package about 7 to 10 night itinerary for your clients for the north of England. We want to develop that particular region as as an add-on to London as well. It is not very far from London. Manchester and Liverpool are both about 2 hours train ride away from London. And once you are there in the north, you can even make Manchester as your base and you can visit the whole of the north. So you can spend about 6 to 7 nights in Manchester and you can take day trips. You can take a day trip to Liverpool, which is only 45 minutes away. You can even go to Lake District. That's only about hour and a half away from Manchester. So you can take a train in the morning. You can go to Windermere, reach there, leave Manchester by about 8, and you will be in Windermere by 9:30. You can spend the entire day on the Lake Windermere itself, enjoy the town of Bowness, and then in the evening you can take the train back to Manchester. You won't really feel that you've been too far away. You can even go to York from Manchester. Again, the train ride is only about an hour away, which is why, in terms of packaging these cities, they are going to be a lot cheaper compared to central London. So, for example, in central London, 4-star typically would be anywhere starting 130, 140 pounds a night in the center of the city. But a 4-star hotel in Manchester or Liverpool would be anywhere between about 60 to 90 pounds. That's the difference in cost. Even a 5-star, I don't think in London would be anywhere below 230, 250 pounds a night. But in if you're talking about Manchester or Liverpool, the 5-star would be costing much less. It would be about 100, 120 pounds a night. So Manchester is the city of sports. It is very popular for the two football clubs, as we all know, Manchester United and Manchester City. It has also got the Old Trafford cricket ground, which is where the historic match between India and Pakistan was played last year during the Cricket World Cup. It's got 250 meeting venues in the city. There are 19,000 bedrooms. This is the place to be if you're a fan of sports. There is an entire museum which is actually dedicated to this, to the sport of football. That's the National Football Museum, which is in the heart of Manchester. The city is again very compact. You can the best way to travel within the city would be by tram. You can actually visit the entire city, even go from Man City to Man United using the tram. It is very, very accessible. I will show you a video for Manchester as well.
Hiya, it's me, Isha, here in Manchester for the ESPN Cricinfo Visit Britain Biggest Fan Challenge. I travel for sport. What better place to start this journey than right here? Veronica's waiting for me inside. I'm going to go join her now.
Manchester City moved to a new match day. 10 minutes to kick off. The Etihad Stadium. Commitment and belief. Very strong. This is called
Manchester is actually really well known for its street art, and we've got John, our tour guide, waiting for us now. He's going to show us exactly what makes Manchester so special for its street artists.
You are now street artist.
Veronica, we've got two Old Traffords to choose from. Which one do you want to start at?
Obviously the cricket ground.
Of course! Let's get in. Even if you're a cricket fan, the Theatre of Dreams is a must visit. Veronica, I know you're a cricket fan, but you must be excited to see this place.
Yes, of course.
Let's get in then. Let's try some new tastes with some restaurant hopping. Wrapping up here in Manchester for the ESPN Cricinfo Visit Britain Biggest Fan Challenge. I travel for sport, and with two football stadiums, one cricket ground, I've been spoilt with that here in Manchester. I hope you guys stay tuned for more fun and adventure. Until next time, it's a bye from me.
Actually, guys, I've just got a message from my colleague Radhika. Apparently, there is a quiz which is on our Instagram page starting at 5 p.m. today. The handle is @lovegreatbritain_in. So I would urge you to participate if you've got the time. I repeat again, the handle is @lovegreatbritain_in. This is on Instagram. Okay, moving on to Liverpool. This is the music capital of the UK. If you heard of the band called the Beatles, this is where the band came together. This is where they started playing. Again, a very compact city, only about 45 minutes away from Manchester, not very far, but it's got a whole lot of attractions, starting with the Beatles Story Museum. They've got an entire museum dedicated to the life and the history of the band. It is located right in the center on the Merseyside area of Liverpool. There are a lot of other attractions also, which are also located on the Merseyside. So everything is walkable. You don't need any sightseeing coach or a sightseeing bus or even a taxi. You can just walk onto all the attractions which are right opposite each other. Even the shopping district for Liverpool, it's called Liverpool One. That's also located just about across the road from the Beatles Story Museum, very, very close. This place is also very famous for the Liverpool Football Club. This is located about 15 minutes outside the city center. So you can hop onto a bus and go to the Liverpool Football Club. All of the football clubs that I mentioned, be it Man City, Man U, or Liverpool, LFC, all of them have got their own dedicated museums inside the clubs. So if you're not there to watch a live match, you can actually book a tour of their museums. You can go and you can see the history of the clubs. And yes, the trophy museum at Man United is out of the world. It is just huge because the club has been one of the most successful in the world. So obviously you have all the trophies that you can imagine in there. I had a video for Liverpool as well, but in the interest of time, I'll just carry on. I'll talk to you a little bit about Scotland, which is the land of Scotch and golf. Scotland has been doing very well for us. In 2018, we saw a 100% jump in numbers of visitors to Scotland. Even last year, when the World Cup was on, because there was a gap between the time when India was actually playing, we saw a lot of Indians going on a self-drive to Scotland from England, which is very encouraging to see. There are the two top cities, Edinburgh and Glasgow, which are very, very popular with tourists. Edinburgh is a lot more popular. Actually, it is UK's second most visited city after London. It is very, very historic. I mean, all of the major attractions in Edinburgh, they are located on just one road. It is called the Royal Mile. It's about a mile long, and it starts at the top of a hill. And the attraction located at the top is called the Edinburgh Castle. It is really beautiful, historic, and you can actually go right to the top of the castle also, and you will get the best views of the city of Edinburgh. This is a lot more historic as compared to Glasgow, which is a more recent city. So you can spend a long time in Edinburgh just walking along the Royal Mile. All of the major attractions are right on the Royal Mile itself, especially for families. There are quite a few attractions that they will enjoy. And there are street performers which are always there on the street on the Royal Mile in Edinburgh. I think the best way to see the city, there is an option called the Ghost Bus Tour. So there is the regular sightseeing option also, which takes you across the city during the day. But during the night and the evening, there is a specialized sightseeing coach which operates. It's called the Ghost Bus Tour. They take you to all of the haunted places. I think the tour is about 2 hours, if I'm right. They take you to all the haunted places within the city of Edinburgh. And the main attraction of the tour is the guide who was on the coach. He is dressed up and he tries to scare you all along the journey, and it's really, really funny. You will really enjoy. I won't recommend it for young kids, but especially older ones in their teens would have a lovely time. I can definitely promise you. There is another attraction in Edinburgh. It's called the Royal Yacht Britannia. It is about 15 minutes away from the city center. You can jump into a taxi and go there. So this is the ship which the royal family used to use when they were, going overseas. They were leaving the UK and going on an overseas trip. So that has been converted into a museum. I think you will really enjoy visiting the ship. So there are some passes that you can actually buy, and you will have access to over 77 sites across Scotland. The Historic Scotland Explorer Pass. This is called a City Break Pass. You just buy one pass and you can get access to all the attractions within the whole of Scotland. I have a video for Scotland which you will really enjoy, so I just would like to play that.
On my quest to find Great Britain, I have come across a city which is best defined by azure skies, nature, architecture, and heritage. This is Kenny from Small World Tours, and he's all dressed to kill me in his kilt attire, which is a traditional Scottish attire. You look wonderful. So shall we begin touring Edinburgh?
Absolutely. in the heart of Edinburgh's medieval old town, and the history in this particular place, 17th century, 1600s. And when you think about it, you know, for kings and queens, we'd travel this road from the castle to the palace at the bottom of the Royal Mile. So from birth to death, to work, to marriage, to children, happened here in this wonderful, wonderful street. And the architecture shows you as far as the sea as well. So from castle to palace, the Royal Mile is your playground.
Listening to Scottish music, I couldn't help but break into an awesome Scottish jig with Kenny. As an actor, I'm often asked whether I would like to play the blue-eyed princess or the damsel in distress. My answer, why not the knight in shining armor? The Edinburgh Castle is the honour of Scotland. It's been a world tourist attraction for many years. It is a towering facade over the landscape of Edinburgh. Edinburgh is a fascinating place, a place of beauty and history. Behind me, you see a beautiful mountain that looks almost like a sleeping lion. That is Arthur's Seat, which stands at an elevation of 850 meters, and it's sitting on an ancient volcano. Something about this place that sets you free. The sparse architecture atop Calton Hill is a hotspot for film shoots and tourists. When I say Great Britain is full of surprises, I was not kidding. I have a whiskey tasting going on here. So Ken, let's begin.
These are whiskies of a very high caliber. So you get a nice mild vanilla, a nice fruity, and a nice smoky whiskey. Water, barley, yeast, and that's what makes whiskey. So when you nose a whiskey, slightly open your mouth and inhale through your nose.
Okay.
And you get lovely flavours. Yeah, that's circulation.
Of course, yeah.
When you come to taste the whiskey, don't put it right to the back.
First smell it to the nose.
Yeah, and then touch your lips with the whiskey and almost chew it. So put the whiskey to your lips, and you get nice light flavours of vanilla.
Tlanjiva. Coast Bus Tour.
I am Eddie Volvo and I have been seeing spirits for 5 years. Tell me, have you ever had a supernatural experience?
I have actually.
You have?
I have.
Would you like another one?
You want spooky in the middle of the nice late summer sunshine? I will give you spooky in the middle of the nice late summer sunshine. Now, up here on the right, you'll get a lovely view of Edinburgh Castle. The castle itself is haunted by at least 7 ghosts. Sometimes strange lights and eerie shadows appear in people's films and photographs who take video footage in this part of the graveyards.
She whispered in her ear, she said, "Get out of my seat! 666 backwards."
What do royalty do when they are bored? They simply go aboard. Welcome to Royal Yacht Britannia, which has been the official carrier of the Queen for the past 43 years. It is also known as the Palace on Waves. Walking where the Queen once herself walked is a surreal experience. Can't help but feel like royalty yourself. Three and a half hours drive from Edinburgh is the home of lakes, hills, and castles, Loch Ness. To appreciate the wonders of Loch Ness, you can take a 1-hour ride on board a cruise, which is simply mesmerizing. You start out by discovering nature, and in the process, end up discovering much of yourself. The calm and peace that one experiences here is simply unparalleled. Loch Ness, a place of monsters, mysteries, and legendary castles. Walking amongst these craggy hills and glimmering lakes, one can't help but romanticize with its enchanting beauty. The Urquhart Castle is a famous tourist spot and is also a popular wedding destination. I set on a journey to find Great Britain and found mine. You should definitely come find yours. The World Cup is upon us, and here in the United Kingdom, watch your stumps on and off field as it promises to bold you by its beauty.
I hope you enjoyed that particular video. That brings me almost to the close of my presentation. I just want to share some of the trade tools that we've developed for everybody. So our primary website for travel trade is called trade.visitbritain.com. So our consumer website is just visitbritain.com. That's for any visitor who's planning to travel to the UK. But a more specialized version we've created only for travel trade. You don't need any special login or anything at all. Just open up the website trade.visitbritain.com and you will be in. Some of the key features on this website, I think for me, it would be access to over 30 suggestive itineraries. So suppose you've not sold the UK before, or you want to sell something new in the UK, some new itineraries, we've done the job of creating itineraries for you. We've created over 30 of them for you. Depending upon the duration of your travel, depending upon the interest of your client. All of those itineraries are available here on the website itself. You can actually download these itineraries also. You can even copy and paste your company's logo and you can share with your clients. Obviously, these are not priced itineraries. These are only suggestive ones. So you can send these itineraries even to a DMC to get them priced. Talking about DMCs, this is also one of the top questions I face from travel trade, contact details for UK suppliers. So be it DMCs, be it tour operators or hotels or attractions. What we've done is we've created a supplier directory for you. That link is also available on this particular website on the homepage itself. If you click on supplier directory, you will be able to see over contact details of over 1,500 UK suppliers who are registered with us. All reliable ones. You can actually find out their contact details, their email IDs or their phone numbers. You can write to them directly and you can start doing business from there. There are a lot of other features on the website also, which I'm not going in depth about. The other website, very, very important, BritAgent.com. So this is our own destination specialist website. You can come on the website, you can register yourself for free, and you can complete the Brit Agent course. There are a few modules you've got to clear, and you've got to get about 85% in each module in order to clear it. You don't need to do the whole course in one sitting. It's very flexible. You can save your progress and you can complete the course later on also. And once you've completed all the modules, you will get a Brit Agent certificate. You will be a qualified Britain specialist agent. That certificate will be valid for lifetime. And finally, visitbritainshop.com. So we are probably the only tourism board from who you can directly buy over 200 travel related products, and you can buy all of them for your clients on Visit Britain Shop. Suppose you want to buy a London Eye ticket, a Madame Tussauds ticket, you want to book an airport transfer, you want to buy a ticket to a football match or a theater ticket, you can get all of them through this website. The advantage is if you are a Brit agent and you send me a copy of your certificate by email, we will share a code with you, and you can use that code to get a minimum of 5% discount on each purchase you make on visitbritainshop.com. So that's the question earlier was about mice. So in case of mice groups, if you want to make bulk purchase of attraction tickets for your groups, you can write to me. We can even stretch the discount from anywhere between 5 to 10% for you. So you'll straight away get about 10% off on any purchase that you make for an entire group. But the minimum group size needs to be at least 100 people. These are my contact. This is my email ID, as you can see here. And for my colleague Tishtar, who sits out of our Mumbai head office, our Mumbai regional office, which is at the Deputy High Commission. And I'm sitting here at the High Commission in Delhi. Please do feel free to write to us even after the webinar or in future in case you have any destination related questions. We are always here. We are more than happy to help you out. I had a visa presentation also, but in the interest of time, I won't make that presentation. I'll throw open the time for any questions in case I'm sure you've been getting a lot of questions in the background.
Yes, we actually have quite a few questions. Let's just take them up. So people are very much interested in some of the free attractions that they can explore when in UK. So can you just shed some light on that?
Sure. So we've got an itinerary we've created, which is also not only for the UK, but also for London. So if you go to visitbritain.com, and if you can type on the search page on the website, free things to do in London, you will see an entire page open up, which will tell you all of the free attractions that you can visit while you're in London. On the trade website, trade.visitbritain.com, there is an entire itinerary which is dedicated to doing free things in London. For the rest of the UK also, you can follow a similar exercise, and you can just type the name of the city and you'll get to know what are the free things for people to do there.
Okay. So Prashant on the Zoom app is asking that Indians are always big on shopping. Can you suggest some of the best shopping experience in the city of London, high end, medium end, and street shopping as well? So what are some of the options for shopaholics?
Well, I am one of them. To tell you the truth, I am a shopaholic also. Whenever I go there, I make sure I shop a little bit for myself and the family. I think it depends on person to person in terms of the budgets that you have. If you're looking for discounted shopping, I would direct you to a place called Bicester Village. Bicester Village is a shopping village. It is located about 1 hour away from central London. There is a train which can take you directly from Marylebone station in London into Bicester Village. It is actually, Indians are some of the top shoppers over there. We are probably the number 2 overseas market for Bicester Village. And about 7-8 years ago, we were not even in the top 10. So that tells you that Indians are really, really big on shopping. So this is a discounted, tax-free shopping area which has been created specially for international shoppers. You can go there and you can get all the brands that you can imagine in the world will be there. If you're looking for street shopping, as he asked, or probably for not very high-end shopping, then you can come on Oxford Street. It is also very, very popular. There are stores here for Primark, which are very popular with overseas visitors. H&M is also over here, which you can visit. So all of the big departmental stores, which are very famous, all the brands, such as Zara as well, the biggest of the stores are located on Oxford Street. So I would definitely say that's the place to go.
Okay. Okay. So one last question that we'll be taking up in today's session is that can you suggest some activities, especially for MICE group, apart from regular sightseeing, and roughly the group size will be around 150 to 200 packs?
Excellent question. It depends on where they are traveling to. So if it's the city of London, there are a lot of activities I can suggest for them, not just the regular ones that you will obviously do, the central London attractions. There is a place just about an hour outside of London also, which is a castle which has been converted into an attraction. You can visit that place as well. Windsor Castle is also very popular, where you can host a MICE group as well. There are plenty of activities. I think this is a question that I need to spend more time on. So if that person could write an email to me and share with me the itinerary they have in mind, I'll be more than happy to give them a more thorough response, if that works.
Okay. That will be great. Actually, I've already shared a PPT link on the app, on the Zoom chat, and so people can fill up that form, and we'll be sharing this PPT of the presentation with all of the participants who fill the form. So that was the presentation that we had from Mr. Shuja Bin Mehdi. Thank you so much, sir, for your for all the information that you gave us. Before we end, I'd like each and every one to go through the TravClan app that we have over here. This is the TravClan app, which you can access via your Android phone and get B2B quotes for almost all the destination, whether it's domestic or international. Here is the inquire section where you can submit your requirement and get free B2B quotes from verified suppliers across the globe. And for more interesting sessions out there, you can check out the learn section in the TravClan app. And also we have shared a link, an events page link in the chat box, which you can access and get to know about the upcoming webinars that we'll be having in the month of April. Thank you so much, Shuja sir, for your time and for this lovely presentation. I hope everyone out there enjoyed and learned a lot from today's presentation, and we'll be coming up with more such interesting webinars in the coming days. Please feel free to contact both of us, and we have already shared the Google form. You just fill the form and we'll be sending our contact details to your way. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. And I hope you were also satisfied with the information that you imparted today.
Thank you to all of you. Thank you to the TravClan team and to you, Tarang, for providing us this platform in order to connect with everybody. I really enjoyed the session and the questions also. Please keep the questions going. Either you can write to me directly or through Tarang at TravClan. I'll be more than happy to take all your questions. I know we couldn't take all of them today because of the time limit, but we will do further sessions also in the near future. So do watch out for those.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you so much, sir. It was nice talking to you, and thank you for a lovely presentation. Thank you everyone for joining us. Hope to see you next time as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Stay home and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Yes, definitely. Bye-bye.